no one else wants to talk about.
The whole system is corrupt and evil. It's unreal, and they don't care, and everybody knows that. It's just sad.
And fights for the soul of America.
I'm going to need y'all to explain to me what a positive solution is, because you positive solutions only people have been in charge for a while now, and I'm not seeing too many positive solutions.
You never met a like that! Strap in, turn up the volume, and get ready, Jackson, for unfiltered, no sugar added talk radio. It's award-winning podcaster Clay.
Boom, shakalaka boom. You're tuned in to the free range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts right now. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I am, of course, Clay Edwards, coming at you live here on 103.9 WYAB, streaming worldwide inside the Mazda Jackson live stream at Save JXN on Facebook, X, YouTube, Rumble, TikTok, and here in the next few seconds or a minute we'll be on Instagram as well, as soon as I punch this little code into the computer here so we can do just that. We'll call it a little dope boy magic. Boom, shaka, laka. All right, welcome in. We're broadcasting live inside the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios. We got the air conditioning running in here for just a second because Chip Matthews is so old and thin blood. He had it 77 degrees in here. 77 degrees. There's just no excuse to have anything that you're not cooking something in higher than 70 degrees, but 77. You may need to go get checked, son. Are you taking iron? What are your iron levels like? Anyway, well, we'll have it. We got it cooling off in here. What do we do? We're thawing out. No, we're not thawing out. We're warming up. We're cooling off. What's the opposite of defrost?
Freezing, frozen.
I guess so. We're trying to freeze ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
We're trying to freeze ourselves a little bit. We've thrown ourselves in a cooler. But I got Jamie Creel, shelter insurance agent extraordinaire, in here with me. Jamie, good morning, brother.
How you doing, sir?
Man, I'll be doing better here in just a second when I get this live stream set up. But hey, we are all good in the hood. What's going on with you today?
Man, just glad to be here. As always, I'm never going to turn down an opportunity to be on the Clay Edwards Show.
So I wasn't necessarily, I'm sure we were going to get to school choice at some point today. We beat the horse so much, but it just won't go away. I wasn't necessarily going to talk about school choice, but you told me you're going to be speaking here soon out in Rankin County about a school choice board, an event of some sort.
Yes, there's on the 26th in the Pearl Gold Boardroom, I think it is. Never been there, but got invited to be a part of a panel, pros and cons, people for and against school choice. There's going to be multiple legislators there. I know Jansen Owens is going to be there. Fred Shanks is going to be there. I'm going to be there. Lindsay's going to be there. Leah Ferretti, Nancy Loom. Let's see who else is there. Russ Latino. It should be fun. I look forward to it. The purpose, of course, is to try to educate people what it's all about. And
all the angry school choice fanatics will be there, I see.
Well, if I haven't listened to all of them. Now, I will say this. I've been in numerous spots with Leah, and I have a lot of respect for Leah, and she's always been kind to me. And I think this country needs to get back to more things like that. We can debate something, and then we can hug it out when it's over and go about our separate ways. I mean, you get somebody who's so one-minded, they get frustrated with somebody else's opinion, and they don't speak to you for several weeks or a month or a year, over an issue. That's stupid and shallow-minded and everything else. But I've always treasured the relationship I have with Leah and her husband, Blake, and hey, it's nothing personal. It's just differences in opinion. I mean,
yeah, what's good for your kids might not be good for mine,
or our pocketbooks, or
I mean, I think that's just one of the problems we have with this. There's some people who thinks because it's good for their kids, it has to be good for everybody else's.
Right?
Why wouldn't it be good for yours if it's good for mine? I mean, some people live in a great school district and they're perfectly content with that and they're not being bombarded by others. Or some people are just old school and don't want public funds going to private institutions. And I know they, well, yeah, but it doesn't bother you when this goes happen. Or I think one of the more recent ones I've heard is when the government pays private military defense contracts. We don't have a problem sending it to Ingalls Shipyard. We don't have a problem sending it to Boeing or, anybody else that makes our weapons for us. And we're getting a product in return. But the children are a product. The children are our future. Just hard-headed, man.
Yeah.
Hard-headed. I mean, yes, obviously. Yeah. Frankly, do I believe that the government should be making weapons? No, of course not. We need the best. We need capitalism to make the best products. Because you see around the world where communism makes the products for the military, where the government makes the products, the government makes whatever, and it just never quite works out. You get the bare minimum.
Well, North Korea, Iran, China, Russia, the things that amaze me since we've been in this conflict over there is, you see these statistics about the U.S. has more warplanes than China and Russia combined. I mean, that's crazy. When you think about something like that. And I guess a lot of it has to do with what you're saying. We're relying on, other entities to build, our planes, our missiles, whatever the case may be, where, they're just producing them as they can, over there. It's just, I don't know.
We have the military industrial complex here, and a lot of us can argue about, how much money we spend on the military stuff. But then when you actually use it, like we have been here lately, you really do appreciate having it. Like, look what we were able to do over in Iran. And I know there's a lot of people all frustrated about us over there. No new wars means no new wars. Everybody agreed at some point over the last few years that Iran needed to be handled. And I know the big thing yesterday, this Kent guy that resigned as counter and terrorism task force, whatever. This guy suddenly comes out. He was about to get fired. Here's the story. He's about to get fired. Saw the tea leaves. Well, he jumps in front of it and he quits or resigns, whatever you want to call it, quits. And he puts out this tweet that we just can't go to war with Iran for Israel. Well, he forgot to delete some old tweets because he just a few weeks ago, for the last however many years, has been tweeting up a storm about how we needed to go in and get rid of Iran, how we needed to kill the Ayatollah, how we needed to take out their Air Force, blow up their nuke capabilities. But suddenly he woke up and had a change of heart. Politicians don't wake up and have a change of heart. People in politics don't wake up and have a change of heart. He's about to get fired. He saw the tea leaves and he's like, you know what? I could be the anti-Israel guy here and jump out in front of this, be one of the first people in the administration. I would hardly call him a part of the administration.
Right.
They'd be one of the first. He's a bureaucrat. One of the first people in the administration to resign over Iran because we shouldn't be fighting for Israel. Man, y'all got to stop. Y'all got to stop.
The hypocrisy right now is at an all-time high to me. I've never in my life, and this just fuels my fire. Not even 2 years ago when Kamala Harris was running for president, she's talking about bombing Iran. You mentioned the word Iran, you get the one contraction word, don't, right? Don't. You ask Biden, we need to bomb Iran. Clinton's bomb Iran. Obama, bomb Iran.
When Obama bomb them with billions.
Yeah. Well, both of them, Biden and, sent billions over there. Technically they say it's money that they had held up, that was theirs. But irregardless, what bothers me is when you get these politicians, how can something be good a year ago when you're in control, or a year and a half ago when you're in control be okay? And it's not okay now. That's the problem that I'm having with this whole hypocrisy of what's going on in America. It is absolutely asinine how something would be good for them a year and a half ago. I mean, you pull up those clips of Schumer and Pelosi and all that, Clinton 20 years ago. I mean, they're saying the same thing Trump is now. And all of a sudden he's deranged. We got to do something about him. And it's a problem, and it infuriates me to no end.
I'm so exhausted with how everything ties back to Israel in these people with Israel derangement syndromes minds. I'm not sure exactly what started this Israel derangement syndrome, but this didn't exist a couple years ago. But suddenly, I mean, it existed in the dark corners of the internet. The Jews run the world stuff. And then, but suddenly, since that October 7th attack, when Israel got attacked, mind you, suddenly this is all blown up because people think that Israel over revenged, overcompensated when they killed a bunch of Palestinians. And I've just always said, if I go into a bar and I punch somebody in the face, I don't get to dictate the ass whooping they give me back.
That's true.
It's up to me to try to prevent as much of that as possible. But if I walk up and I punch somebody in the face, I got to be ready for whatever they choose to get back to me. It ain't the bouncer's job to stop it. I guess America's the bouncer in this scenario.
Yeah.
It ain't the bouncer's job to stop it. It ain't nobody's job to stop it. It's me to prevent as much of it from happening to me as possible in theory. So everybody's mad. Well, no, enough's enough, damn it. How many buildings you got to blow up? How many people you got to kill? How many, whatever. You don't get to dictate that. And I'm not an Israel guy.
Right.
But I can be. I hear they're paying folks $7,000 a influencer, $7,000 a post to make pro-Israel or negative Iran or whatever, to make Israel look good. Paying them propose to look for $7,000. I'll say this, $7,000 a month. I'm a low dog in a little bit since we're more of a local show here.
Yeah.
$7,000 a month. We'll redecorate the studio. I'll start wearing some, whatever those clothes they wear are. I'll grow out the little long beards, the little twirly hairs. I'll convert to Semitic Jew. I really don't care. For $7,000 a month, look, Clay Edwards is cash on demand. I am coin operated, my friends.
You'd sell out.
Oh man, I tell you what, I you can do a green screen on here and make the background whatever you want. I may make the background instead of the American flag, I might just make it Israel.
Yeah.
Here, look, I'm kidding, obviously, but this derangement syndrome that everything's because of Israel, America's the puppet of Israel, and all this stuff. I don't know if I buy into we're Israel's puppet stuff. I don't even know that we should be giving them money, but I don't have a problem eliminating one of our greatest threats who's been screaming death to America for 47 years.
Yeah.
Now he got death from America. We got to do a little bit of extra house cleaning over there. I ain't got a problem with it. If we got to sit there and say that it's to protect Israel from being nuked or America from being nuked or Iran putting nukes in Cuba to nuke us. There was the whole Cold War fought over similar situations.
Yeah.
I might doing some house cleaning because the Democrats screwed this up. George Bush screwed this up. Obama, Hillary, they screwed this up.
Yeah.
Trump's got to clean it up a little bit. Do I want to get over there and be there for months and years on it? Absolutely not.
No.
My tune may change if it turns into one of those forever wars where we're just sending troops over there to get butchered, come back in pieces, come back mentally ill.
Yeah.
We're sending trillions of dollars over there. I'll have a problem with it at that point. But, I voted for this. I voted for Trump. I don't have to agree with everything along the way. But it's like playing on a football team. You get a new coach in there, changes up the system, changes up the way they do college football, changes up the way they recruit, changes up everything. And they always say, trust the system, trust the process, trust the system. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm trusting the system. I'm trusting the process. Now, if we roll out a 3-13 record,
yeah,
I'm gonna have a much harder time trusting the process, Coach.
That's a great analogy. Great. Let me ask you this. What year were you born?
77.
77. Okay. So I vividly remember when Carter was president and they had those hostages over in Iran.
And when Reagan got sworn in, how they were brought back before the swearing in ended.
14 minutes, man.
Yeah.
And so at that point, Reagan comes in, he says, hey, enough's enough. You're going to return them or else. Okay. They didn't want to bluff Reagan. Okay. Since Reagan, they've been bluffing us and, not taking our warnings, to heart. They keep, death to America, building these bombs, harming our embassies, whatever the case may be. And basically Trump comes in and says what Doc Holliday says, I'm your huckleberry, right? You got the right one now. And he's showing them. And, this whole Tucker Carlson mess where they gave him fake information because they felt like he was tipping off the Iranians. And I mean,
bro, I'm not sure. And I've tried to walk this back, and I've tried to see them more in black and white, not be a conspiracy theorist. Because when you do this for a living, you got to do this 5 days a week, and you got to really stand on business every day. It's easy to be a conspiracy theorist when you do one hit a month.
right.
When you just get on social media and you're not held accountable by your listeners and by your audience. When you don't have an audience, it's easy to talk all the crazy crap you want to and believe it. And there's a lot of stuff I believe that you'll never convince me otherwise of. But I've never bought into the Trump's playing 4D chess stuff. Like Trump, there's a lot of things Trump could have done that wasn't 4D chess, and he didn't do it. It wasn't 2D chess, and
Right.
he screwed it up in the first term. So I don't know about this Trump playing 4D chess nonsense, but I'm not convinced that this thing with Tucker ain't Trump and Tucker playing a little 5D chess. I'm really not, because I think Tucker's too smart.
He is smart.
To get himself caught up in some nonsense like this. I think Trump's too smart to let that happen. They got that picture together in the White House. I think this is just them covering their tracks a little bit to keep Tucker's journalistic integrity in place. That's just my thought on it. Now, if they follow through and they actually press charges and they perp walk him, my tune will change.
Yeah.
But if we're just floating that the DOJ might do something and nothing ever happens, then I would be a little weary about believing this at surface value.
Well, you see all the Democrats now. Oh, well, he's turning against his main loyalists, and it's just giving them, it's almost when you talk about the 4D, 2D, 5D chess or whatever, Trump is synonymous about throwing distractions out there. I mean, he will throw a distraction to have you forget about this, and he's handling business over here, and that's one thing to me that he is a master at. Yeah. He gets your mind focused over here, and then he takes care of this.
Because if you just think about it, it worked perfectly in Trump's favor. They gave Tucker some bad information. Tucker turned around and gave that bad information. First off, why are you giving a journalist, a podcaster at this point, information? Unless you wanted him to go tell them that. I tell people all the time that tell me stuff. People will send me stuff and I'll post it. Man, I didn't mean for you to post that. I'm like, what the F did you send it to me for?
Yeah.
What do you think I'm going to do with it? That's what I do. I post stuff and I talk about it. Don't send me stuff. Tell me, keep it secret. I don't keep secrets when it's stuff like that. Maybe Clay, this is a secret. We're friends. Different story.
Yeah.
But don't send me video of somebody doing something. No, you can't post it. Don't know where it came from. Then I don't even want to see it.
Right.
So why would Trump do that? That was intentional.
One would think.
Yeah. And I don't believe that Tucker is an idiot enough to be like, I just got American military intelligence. Let me go give this to Iran because I hate Israel so much. I have a hard time with that. Yeah. He may truly hate Israel and be very anti-Semitic, but I don't think he's to the point that let me go sell out America. That's crazy talk. Let's take a break, man. We'll be right back. We got Jamie Creel, shelter insurance agent extraordinaire here inside the Men's Health, Women's Wellness Mississippi Studios this morning on the Clay Edwards Show. You want to text in? The LS Autoplex text line, 769-241-1944. You want to call in, got any takes on this? I'd love to hear somebody else's opinion on this. Tell me why I'm wrong on this. Tell us why we're wrong. Should we have Israel derangement syndrome? 601-879-0002. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
WYAB.
Here at Lake and Glass and Tint, we've become well known for two things: window tint and windshields. Now, when it comes to window tint, you already know that we're the go-to for home, car, and office. And as always, we offer free consultations. So if you're in the need of window tint or windshields, give us a call, 601-946-1000. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram or at lakeandglassandtint.com. Lake and Glass and Tint, where quality matters.
Here's John and Corey Ravenstein to announce a very special bridal event.
If you're getting married soon, I want to personally invite you to Juniker's annual Bridal and Wedding Ring Show.
It's going on now through Saturday, April 4th at Juniker Jewelry Company.
Come shop the largest selection in the state of diamond engagement rings and ultimate wedding bands from our top designers.
Buy your diamond engagement ring during the show and get up to $500 credit towards both of your wedding bands.
Buy your wedding rings and enjoy free engraving inside your rings. And free layaway until the wedding with no finance charges.
Plus, enjoy 12 months, no interest financing for qualified buyers.
Save some money.
Upgrade that honeymoon.
The bridal and wedding ring event at Juniker Jewelry Company.
3 big weekends now through Saturday, April 4th.
We'll see you there.
Juniker Jewelry Company. From anywhere in Mississippi, we're at 1485 Highland Colony Parkway, just south of 463 in Madison, and online at junikerjewelry.com, Mississippi's direct diamond importer.
Got electrical problems? Marty Cowden and Cowden Electric are here for you. Cowden Electric is your trusted electrician, serving the Jackson area for 3 decades. Electrical repair, service, and home rewiring are just the start of what Cowden Electric can do. Cowden Electric also installs generators to keep your power going when everyone else's lights are out. Plus, LED lighting, remodels, new construction, no job is too small. Visit CowdenElectric.com today to see all that they do. Cowden Electric, powering your home and business.
When it's time to get serious about work-ready equipment, come see me, Noah Sullivan, at H&H Chief Sales in Carthage. From rugged Big Tex trailers to durable CM and Legend X truck beds, H&H has what your truck needs to work harder and last longer. For the field, H&H carries reliable act from Salford, New Leader, and Chandler. Visit H&H Chief Sales in Carthage today or anytime at hhchiefsales.com. H&H, quality equipment, knowledgeable service, and solutions that work as hard as you do.
Need a new car? Then march right over to Mazda of Jackson and spring in the savings. Get 1.9% financing for 63 months on all 2025 CX-5s, 2026 CX-90s, CX-50s, CX-70s, and Mazda 3s with approved credit. And get 1-year maintenance included on your new vehicle purchase. Don't wait another minute to experience Mazda's exhilarating performance, top-notch safety, and reliability. So get to Mazda of Jackson today, where pre-owned vehicles and hassle-free trade-in options are also available. Shop online or visit Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road.
When leaks, clogs, or cold showers slow you down, call on Anglin Plumbing, the plumbing experts who get the job done right the first time. Leaky faucet, sink, or toilet? Need a water heater installed? Call on Anglin Plumbing. You can always trust Anglin's reliable and hardworking technicians. Don't let plumbing headaches ruin your day. Call on Anglin Plumbing Service to get it fixed. And you can be a part of the team. Anglin Plumbing is now hiring. Learn more about Anglin Plumbing at anglinplumbing.com.
Hey, Central Mississippi, it's Big Pop inviting you to Mississippi's biggest and best gun shows. Big Pop Gun Shows will be at the Clyde News Center March 21st, 22nd in Pearl, Mississippi. Saturday hours 9 to 5, Sunday hours 10 to 5. There'll be plenty of buying, selling, trading, gun appraisals, over 250 tables of merchandise to see. The largest vendors around to see. Y'all come and let's have a great weekend at the Pearl Gun Show March 21st, 22nd at the Clyde News Center. And don't forget to register for 2 $20 gift certificates to be given away every hour. Go to www.bigpopgunshows for more info.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon.
Broadcasting live from the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. This is the Clay Edwards.
Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. 139 WYAB inside the Men's Wellness of Mississippi studios. This segment brought to you by our friends over at, let's see here, man. How about our friends, well, how about A1 Gear and Auto? Right over there, Highway 4, Mississippi. You having any automotive issues? Needing preventive maintenance? So maybe it's time to get them brakes checked, get them rotors checked, any of that good stuff. They can take care of all that. You know, if you're driving a Nissan, those hubs, they eat up faster than your dang tires do, especially on those Altimas and Rogues and all that stuff. Man, Jamie, you sold those things for a long time, but why did them dang rotors eat up so bad? Them hubs.
Well, I try to stick with those Toyota products, sir. The thing, I don't want to bash any particular company, but it seemed like we kept getting trade-ins, around the 60,000 mile mark on a certain brand.
Mm-hmm.
And then, customer come in to buy a pre-owned car and 61,000 miles, freaking transmission goes out on it because of the
CTVs.
Yeah. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm like, that's a problem. And then, luckily the guy who owned the dealership that I worked at, you know, he was on the national board for that particular manufacturer, and it was able to get a lot of that stuff done with good
They extended
faith.
them out to 100,000 miles and stuff that first couple of years. Yeah, I started working for Nissan in I worked for them for about a year, 2012. 2012. Went out to North Jackson Nissan and worked for a while. Well, that's what I'll always call it, North Jackson Nissan. I guess it's great annuals, but neither here nor there. It was a problem then for sure, but they seem to have it all situated now. But I don't know why those hubs, you know, those bearings eat up so bad in the front ends.
Yeah,
man, it's like they get to roaring. But it's definitely an issue. I don't know if they got it fixed, but I'm sure they got it fixed by now. But you know what I always blamed it on? By the way, if you have any automotive issues, A1 Gear and Auto, Florence, Mississippi, Highway 49 South, they can fix anything, but they specialize in your ring and pinion. But if you do have a Nissan and it's going through, you got that roaring sound, man, he can get that knocked out in about an hour with an appointment for him. Talk to him, but I know how quick he had one of my old girlfriends knocked out, you know. Not knocked up, knocked out. and
oh my God.
I'm kidding.
That's bad, Clay.
I'm kidding, man. Good folks, man. Good folks. Look, get it all checked out, man. They take care of you over there. They wouldn't care not. Well, we have fun on this show. I mean,
yeah.
If you expect anything too serious over here, you're on the wrong show.
Yeah.
But with that said, I was at that Nissan store for about a year. But I've always said, man, my problem with Nissans has been this. And I blame it on Obama. When they passed Obamacare, and you had to give everybody that was full-time health insurance, what you think was going to happen? They cut everybody off. They got X amount of full-time employees out there, and everybody else is part-time. And what they do, they went and got a hiring service, a staffing agency is where I'm looking for here. I won't say the name, but they went and got a staffing service, and they hired a bunch of folks from chicken farms, the chicken plants. Everybody knows this. So I'm not breaking any news here. They went and pillaged Scott County and got all the people that worked in the chicken farms down there and brought them over here to work for Nissan and stuff. And I'm sorry, there's a difference in a full-time. You're just going to recruit a different kind of employee, and I just think quality control, man. And that's a combination of that and these deals with rental car companies and these fleet deals and all that stuff. It just brought to me, Nissan ain't the big three Japanese car, Asian car makers anymore. It used to be Honda, Toyota, Nissan. It just ain't anymore. I think Mazda's definitely at minimum replaced Nissan in the top of the pecking order. And you can make an argument for outside of Toyota, Honda too. I mean, I think it's more than just a big three now. Yeah. I think you got Honda, Toyota, Mazda, any particular order. And then you have Honda and Kia are making a really good product now. They've come a long way.
A lot of people don't know this too, but Toyota owns a portion of Subaru. And that's one of the safest cars out there.
Man, they had some technology deals with BMW too.
Yeah, and when they put out the
now we're for Toyota for 5 years.
Yeah,
too,
so you meant the Supra. When they come out, if you looked on the engine cover, it had both Subaru and Toyota stamped on the engine. It's crazy.
Well, so did the Scion. The little two-door, the RBZ. Yes. I can't remember. It was 3 initials. It was the only Scion that survived and got Toyota branding. And it had a twin down at Subaru also. I just can't remember.
I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, it was the same car. But the Subaru, got your more urban white liberal kind of buyer. And I'm not saying that as a knock either in this example, but kind of it was more your Subaru drivers, and stuff. And the Toyota got more of your enthusiast kind of, a lot of your Asian guys and stuff would buy the, like your Madison County kind of like wealthy your kids. That would come to be their first car. I always kind of stereotype or profile, be a better word. I could profile the different people as they would come up to the lot. I was like, I know what they're going to look at. I know what they're here to look at. Nothing wrong with that.
No,
And now, it's something wrong with it when you do other cars. I'll say that. Let me guess. I know what you're here for. You're here to see the Chargers, aren't you?
Or the Challengers. Yeah.
You're here to see that Magnum I put on Craigslist, aren't you?
Yeah.
I wasn't wrong. Good fun, man. All in good fun. No, I'm here to see a dang Tundra. What are you talking about?
I got a friend. She was in a bad car accident in high school, and she was in a Subaru, and she felt like it saved her life. And she has never bought anything but that Subaru, because she felt like it flipped 4 times and she walked out without a scratch. And now her and her kids, I mean, she tells her kids, hey, I'm sorry, you're going to be driving a Subaru until you can afford your own.
Did you see where up in Minneapolis during all that crap that was going on a few months ago that all the ICE agents flipped to driving Subarus?
No, I did. I didn't.
So they got to following them around in any kind of American-made truck or SUV. Like, oh, this got to be ICE agents in a Tahoe or an F-150 or whatever. And so what they did is they switched over to Subarus with dark tinted windows.
That's crazy, man.
It's wild. Hey, look, we ran over big time that first segment. Let's take another break real quick. Get back on track schedule-wise. We got Jamie Creel, Shelter Insurance Agent Extraordinaire in here. We're going to talk about insurance. We're going to talk about all kind of stuff this morning, a little old school wrestling. I tell you what, let's do this first. I forgot we have somebody on hold here. I don't want to leave a caller on hold. Hey, caller, sorry, you're on there.
Hey, Clay, it's Scott.
Hey, brother.
I've got this coexist bumper sticker I'm looking for a car to put on. Help me out.
Well, look, you know what? Andrew Gosser drives a Prius, believe it or not, and it'll be here in the parking lot about 9 o'clock if you want to come tag it.
I was going with Subaru, but yeah, I'm usually, I see those, it's usually on a Subaru or a VW.
Right, or a Toyota Prius.
And my only problem with Mazda is it's been owned by Ford for decades. And I'm not, Ford does great on trucks, but after that, they get a little bit sloppy. But as I sit in my 91 MR2 Turbo, that's a Toyota box.
Oh, I know. I can't believe
you start with quality.
Well, speaking of MR2s, I know you're an MR2 guy. That's the bag on that little car I'm talking about, the one that rolled over from Scion that they made a Subaru and a Toyota for. Still, I just can't remember. It's not an MR2, obviously, like an SBZ or something like that. That's they should have rebranded the MR2.
The MR2's it's a 2-seater and it's a mid-engine, so it really is. They were going to offend a lot of MR2 enthusiasts. If it's not a 2-seater and a mid-engine, you don't have an MR2. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Kind of like the Mazda. What's the little Mazda car? Not the
Miata.
No, not the Miata. The other one. It's the 2 doors.
RX-7.
RX-7. That's the one I was looking for.
RX-8, RX, whatever they are now.
Yeah. Like you can't go rebrand that as a Miata, or you can't rebrand a Miata an RX-7.
So there's certain type of styling and stuff that just certain features that makes it what it is, and if it's not, then it's not.
Yep.
But on the Israel question, real quick,
let me do this.
Back on track.
Let me do this. Okay, I got a feeling you're going to be a little long-winded on this one. Can you stay on hold through the break, and I'll come straight back to you?
I can stay on hold. I can still be short when we get back.
All right. Stay on hold. We'll be right back. We got Scott on the line. We're going back to the Israel conversation. This is the Clay Edwards Show with Jamie Creel. Welcome back into the Cleb Show. Real quick, I know you just heard that commercial there from Martin's. This Saturday, mark your calendars. Martin's Livingston having a big St. Patty's Day crawfish boil out there at the Livingston location. They did one last year, and it was a mega success. So you're looking for somewhere to get out this Saturday. Weather's going to be about as nice as it's ever going to be. And look, we don't get too many days like we're going to have this Saturday, like we've had the last couple of Saturdays. You only get them about 1 month a year, and normally it rains, and we don't get to really enjoy it. This Saturday, get out there, enjoy being outside for the humidity and the real heat start coming through. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be good times. Wear your green, have some fun, eat some crawfish, listen to some live music, and don't meet me there. Beat me there. Martin's Livingston. All right, let's go back to the phone. We got Scott on line. Who's going to give us his opinion on the Israel stuff. All right, Scott, take your time, brother.
Yeah, I watched a large portion of that recent interview Tucker Carlson did with Mike Huckabee, who, for your audience's reference, is the ambassador for Israel, and he he asked some pretty good questions. First of all, the main one, which is okay, who is Israel? I mean, there's Jewish people by heritage, by DNA. And then there's the nation state, the people who claim to be Israeli, but may not necessarily be descendants of Abraham. And we don't know which is what at this point. We hadn't said, pull out your Abraham card or show us your DNA profile. And we wouldn't do that anyway. But I found it interesting.
Might call
it was a
some
real
flashbacks.
good conversation. If you get a chance to see it, it's just interesting.
I need to
If
go
nothing
watch
else.
that. I saw it but didn't watch it. I will now.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the watch because Huckabee was struggling and kind of contradicted himself, and Tucker's good at getting people in a bind. But I say that to say this, put that aside, put the Israel factor aside. Iran was founded, by taking Americans as hostage. This current regime, back in the Carter administration, you're talking about the coal, you're talking about the Marine barracks, you're talking about all the different, near misses and close calls of our military naval vessels over in that area, which I wish we didn't have to be there, but we are there, but it's like you say, it's kind of the way you treat people in a bar. Some a-hole may be in a bar, but that doesn't mean you have to go up to them and taunt them. And if they don't like us, that's fine. But if we're out there in the Gulf or we're in the Strait or something, minding our own business, they don't have to do what they're doing, but they brazenly do it. And so they've been a thorn on our side for a long time. Plus, they provide a ton of oil for China, which we all agree is the number one threat to democracy in the United States and the world. So
they will be
cutting China off at the knee.
They will be until Trump went to attack them or something, and then the Democrats would be the biggest fan of the Chinese in the world. But I digress.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's no question about how that would go down. But I look, I didn't vote for this, but I trust the man. He's got so many other things right that with the information that he has. And with the problem that Iran has clearly been, I'm kind of with the way the CNN polls show it. At this point, what are you going to do? I mean, we're there now, so we're beyond should we do it or should we have done it?
Finish the deal.
Now we're at the let's do it right and win it. But I agree, not a bunch of troops forever. And I'm going to hang up, listen to what you guys got to say.
Thank you, brother. Always good hearing from you. You know what I heard there, Jamie, was two things can be right at the same time.
Yeah.
You can be as adamant as you want about disagreeing with Israel, and Iran can also be a pain in our ass that needs to be taken care of.
Finish the deal, man. I mean, I told somebody, I don't care if gas gets to $10 a gallon. I know it hurts right now going to the gas pump, okay? But finish the deal. Our ancestors down the road, your grandkids, great-grandkids, mine, is very dependent on what's going on right now.
Yeah, at $3.29 a gallon in Richland the other day, where it's always the cheapest right there at one of those three gas stations, the racetrack, the VP, and the Shell across the street, they always always same gas prices, $3.29 a gallon, and I guess the QT right there now too. I actually stopped at the QT, but neither here nor there. My low fuel light was about to come on, but it wasn't on yet. $3.29 a gallon cost me $98.98 to fill that truck up to the first click anyway. And I don't, whatever. But I say, all right, let's round that up to $100, right? That's gotten on up there, right? To fill that truck up. And I just said, man, this is the price you pay to make America great again.
Yeah.
But I ain't going to want to do it for long.
No, I know.
I ain't going to be able to do it for long, but ain't nobody going to feel sorry for the guy driving the damn Raptor having to spend $100 to fill it up. I just understand that's the price you pay to play the game when you decide to drive a gas guzzler like that. It is what it is. But we were talking during the break, I believe, about gas prices. Well, why does the media suddenly care the gas prices? We're told during the Biden regime, early on in the Ukraine-Russia fiasco, when gas got to $5 a gallon, we were told that presidents don't control gas prices. What are you rednecks so mad about? This ain't how presidents don't control gas. Well, keep that same energy, boys. Even though I believe that president's actions absolutely do control the gas, and I believe what Trump's doing over there in Iran has caused the gas to go up because nothing else created fear, even though only 2% of our fuel comes from that area. But it creates fear. It made the gas prices go up. But you know what? I voted, like Scott said, I didn't necessarily vote for this, but Trump's the head coach that I hired, and this is the game plan he's got. He's been right on everything so far the important things for me.
Right.
I watched a lot of really quote unquote, or let me do my best Mike Madison impression here. Air quotes in the studio. I hired the best head coach for what was that? What the hell? I stopped to do my Mike Madison impression. Air quotes in the studio. What was I saying?
You were talking about head coaches.
Head coach. Well, hell, I don't even remember what I was saying. I got distracted. Air quotes in the studio. Dang it! Y'all just know that means I'm about to be serious when I say that. Look, I need gas to come down. We all need gas to come down, and hopefully this don't last long, and gas will come down. I don't remember what I was going to say outside of that. It was some version of that.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. You got anything you want to say?
No. I finished the deal. I mean, we the sacrifices that our ancestors made for us to have a freedom here in America, we owe that to the future. And that's what we're working on now.
Absolutely. Look, man, again, I don't like it, but it's what I voted for. Well, at the end of the day, it's what I voted for when I voted for Trump. Oh, yeah, I remember. Air quotes in the studio. A lot of smart people said tariffs were a bad idea. A lot of smart people, a lot of Republicans in this state that run some big websites and media said Republicans, and I said tariffs were a bad idea. Well, tariffs brought a lot of jobs back to this country, and our Supreme Court, for some reason, decided they were a bad idea. I think Trump proved tariffs were a good idea. Tariffs made a huge difference. You can say that did some stuff get more expensive in the short run? Yeah, but man, some price you pay to play the game. You're talking about bringing that many jobs back, that much American construction back, just industrial jobs, American production jobs is what I'm looking for here.
Unemployment's down tremendously.
Yeah.
I mean,
because you don't get to count government jobs as jobs. I'm sorry.
No, and we got rid of a lot of those, and then we started hiring back the everyday common American. Unemployment is down for Black Americans, for white Americans. I mean, last month was not an all-time low, but it's the lowest it's been in 25, 30 years. People are working again. They're making money. They're getting correct wages. I mean, it's
construction jobs are right now. I know people, whether they're doing plumbing, electrical, whatever, say what you want about these data centers, yet to be determined on their viability long-term and their impact long-term. But short-term, man, these dudes are making a fortune running around building these things. All these other big jobs, these big production plants are coming back, cars, microchips, all these things, Apple's coming to America. All that because of tariffs. Man, you celebrate. But again, a lot of so-called smart people have been truly, truly exposed under Trump, and that's why those people aren't relevant anymore. It ain't because the party changed, George Bush era politics. It's because y'all said a lot of stupid crap and you were wrong. Trump proved it, but you had to have a knee-jerk reaction to try to look like the smartest guy in the room. These are some of the same Republicans that picked Kamala Harris to win the last election and just couldn't read the tea leaves. Polling's all that matters. Not anymore, Hoss. We'll be right back. Jamie Creel on the Clay Edwards Show.
From hunting ground to your front door key, call the landman of Mississippi. Tom Smith Land and Homes, yeah, the landman who you need. Brought to you by Tom and Ellen Smith. Tom Smith Land and Homes.
Hello, friends and neighbors. This is David Frederick. I'm here to tell you about the latest development here at Frederick Sales and Service in Brandon. In an effort to always bring you the very best brands, I am proud to announce that Frederick Sales and Service is Central Mississippi's newest dealer for Skag zero-turn mowers and products. We have deals on one of the industry's best brands of zero-turn mowers, Skag. You can buy now and pay later because 0% financing is also available at Frederick's. Come see our inventory. We're here serving you for over 3 decades in Brandon since 1993.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Broadcasting live from the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. This is the Clay Edwards Show.
Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. We got about 40 seconds here in this segment. Our guest had to get up and do something real quick. He'll be back for the. I don't know what all we're going to hit on top of the next hour. I like this conversation. We may just stay on this, but I do want to talk a little old school wrestling. I'm talking about Mid-South. I'm talking about WCCW. I'm talking about Atlantic Championship. I'm talking about Texas wrestling, Memphis wrestling, when they used to run the Coliseum them back in the day. Little Junkyard Dog, Warriors, Ric Flair, Freebirds, Bad Street, Atlanta, GA. Chun, chun, chun. Anyway, man, Jamie's a big old school wrestling fan. We may hit that in more. See you in 7 minutes.
which belongs to the taxpayers. A quarter century in state prison was the sentence handed Van Treese Frazier in court Tuesday in of his baby daughter, Janiyah Chambers, and a 2-year-old named Braylon Blunt. The Macomb man was indicted in the deaths of both children after police determined they died in similar ways in his care. The case has started in 2019. The man who died in a Tuesday wreck on Highway 80 in which a pickup and a dump truck hit near University Boulevard has been ID'd by Hinds County Coroner Jeremiah Howard as 35-year-old Tyree Stapleton of Jackson. The average price for gas in Mississippi today is $3.42 a gallon, says Gas Buddy. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, these too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, fair market value, and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repair? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
Men, let's talk about low testosterone. Do you suffer from any of these symptoms? Low sex drive, ED. Are you always tired, depressed? You have loss of muscle mass? You're obese? Maybe you have loss of focus and drive? Then you, my friends, may suffer from low testosterone. Let my buddies over at Men's Health in Mississippi, located right there in Madison, check your numbers today. Trust me, she'll thank you for it. I promise. Check them out online at menshealthms.com. That's menshealthms.com. Men's Health Mississippi.
Welcome to the Clay Edwards Show. More adrenaline.
You know, it's a pretty interesting time to be alive. What's the saying? May the times you live in be interesting. We have accomplished that.
And more testosterone for your morning drive.
When you know you've got a problem, how about tell people and be honest? What's going on?
Going to war on cancel culture and bringing the spotlight on issues and topics from around the city of Jackson.
I feel like Jackson, Mississippi.
No one else wants to talk about.
The whole system is corrupt and evil. It's unreal. And they don't care. And everybody knows that. It's just sad.
And fights for the soul of America.
I'm going to need y'all to explain to me what a positive solution is, because you positive solutions only people have been in charge for a while now. And I'm not seeing too many positive solutions.
You never met a white like me.
Strap in, turn up the volume, and get ready, Jackson, for unfiltered, no sugar added talk radio. It's award-winning podcaster Clay and
Boom goes La Dynamite. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the RADIO. I want to do my finger thing. RADIO. The Clay Edwards Show. Here inside the Men's Health and Women's Wellness in Mississippi. This segment brought to you by our friends over at, how about our friends at Men's Health and Women's Wellness in Mississippi? Guys, text Clay, 601-800-5130. Get your testosterone screening today. It is so free testosterone screening, by the way. I've seen a bunch of other places opening up around here doing it. These national chains, these people you don't know, man. This is Dr. Michael Walker right out there, locally owned, locally operated, good folks. Don't be getting sucked into these places with these fancy names. And I ain't gonna say none of them, but I mean, you know how I feel about these things, man. You know, I like a place that puts the man's name on it, puts Mississippi on it. Men's Health of Mississippi. Dr. Michael Walker. It's all one long title there. And they just gonna take care of you. He's in the building every time you go to the dang place. I got a great staff over there, a bunch of lovely ladies. We have Morgan Charlie, who handles all the stuff on the women's side here. Lindsey Beckham, I think every Tuesday on the radio, and they talk stuff. I mean, these are people that are involved in your community. They're people sponsoring your ball teams, all that stuff. I'm sure like Jamie Creel over here does with Shelter Insurance. You know, there ain't no ROI on sponsoring your kid's ball team. I'm just going to tell you that. There ain't no ROI on that, but you do that because, you know, it's just the right thing to do. And that I respect. That's why I love these locally owned businesses. So take advantage of that. It's going to help you with your sleep, confidence, your endurance, your sexual stamina, everything. You know, you get, fellas, ladies, plug your ears, kids, plug your ears. Fellas, you waking up without that flagpole at full attention every morning, you probably have low testosterone. I'm just going to leave it at that. Take advantage. Text Clay, 601-800-5130. Jamie, let's shift gears, man. We've been serious all morning. Let's talk a little old school wrestling.
RASSLIN.
So first off, I got to correct myself. I told everybody over here on Monday on 316 Day, tune into wrestling tonight. Stone Cold's coming back, and I was just dead wrong. And I knew I was dead wrong by about lunchtime too, because I listened to that interview he did on Busted Open, and I could just tell he wasn't. I said, first off, he's on the ranch doing this interview there in Nevada, and he ain't by now. He probably ain't flying out to Texas. Of course, I guess on a private jet, you can get there pretty quick. So that wasn't the deal breaker. But I could just tell from his attitude, Stone Cold done. He has checked out of wrestling. He's just Steve Austin now. He ain't Stone Cold Steve Austin anymore. But anyway, so I just want to apologize to everybody if you sat through all of Monday Night Raw. And why the hell did I watch this? Clay Edwards told me that Stone Cold was coming back. I do apologize. I was wrong, and it happens every now and then. But still, it was a good show nonetheless. Brock Lesnar got powerbombed by that big black dude. I thought it was a good show nonetheless. It got me excited about that match at WrestleMania, if nothing else. But with all that said, man, let's jump in the Wayback Machine. Jamie, like I said, you got about 7 years on me, so you got more vivid memories of Jackson and the Territory days when the Territory ran the Coliseum every week or so. You remember JYD, Junkyard Dog, before he was a kind of a comedy character in WWF, and that's my first memories of JYD. And I've learned about JYD in retro, like his pre-WWE days, and kind of in retrospect through documentaries and footage and magazines and everything. To the kind of after his death stuff, kind of when the internet became a thing and all that. And you were a big JYD fan. I was a huge Freebirds fan. I don't know what it was.
Oh, yeah.
I just loved the Freebirds. I know they were the bad guys. I've always kind of been like being the villain. I like being the heel a little bit. I'll never forget the Freebirds versus the Von Erichs, Texas Stadium. Man, was AWA, not AWA, the
NWA.
No, it wasn't NWA. It was Fritz Von Erichs thing over in the USWA.
Yes. Yeah. United. Yeah. I believe that is right.
USWA.
Yeah.
I think it was like UWWA, whatever. It was the USWA, whichever one it was, is the rise and fall of it. There's a great documentary on it. Great documentary. And of course, Iron Claw. There's so much out of that. But by the way, if you hadn't seen Iron Claw by the Von Erichs, I can't recommend it. Whether you like wrestling or not, you won't find a better. If you don't cry at least once in that movie, I question you. I question you. I don't care how high your testosterone levels are. That movie don't make you cry. You ain't got a soul. But neither here nor there. I love the Freebirds. I love Bad Street, Atlanta, GA. I mean, you asked me about best entrances earlier. I said, well, Stone Cold or the Road Warriors have the best entrance because it's all about the crowd pop, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now if we're talking about best songs, like the best song made especially for an entrance, to me, still to this day, it's Bad Street, Atlanta, GA, which was the Freebirds doing their own song, but it was co-written by one of the guys on Leonard.
That's incredible. I didn't know that. I know this, and I don't take anybody down memory lane, but
I'll just jump in the Wayback Machine, get it up to 88 miles an hour.
The first time, Clay, I was in the fourth grade. It was 1978, 79. My dad picked me up from school, and we went out to eat, and we went over there. We're standing in line outside the building, and you could see the Coliseum, and
were you on the Trademark or the A&I building?
Trademark.
The A&I were those kind of half moon shaped buildings that tore down years ago.
So we were in the old Trademark, and I'm telling you talking about
acoustics,
rickety. And when we walked in the door, I looked at my dad and I said, "Dad," I said, "Is Muhammad Ali fighting?" And he says, "No, son, it's going to be better than that." And so that was my first night of ever seeing. Junkyard Dog was there. Buck Robley was there. Mr. Wrestling #2, the Freebirds. I mean, it was absolutely iconic. And then I only missed one wrestling match in Jackson in probably 15 years after that. I remember Kamala making his debut at the Armory, which was just up the street there.
It's still there.
Yeah.
They actually redid it not too long ago. It's being used right now.
And acoustics there. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
I saw a great battle of the bands there. Lillian Axe was a headliner, Charade, Vanderveer, Cyrus. There's actually a little bit of footage of that up on YouTube if you go look hard enough.
But Kamala was the scariest person because, like, when he first made his debut, Kamala's from Senatobia, died in Oxford. I got a book that somebody gave me that he actually signed.
Bret Hart came down for his funeral. He was a big, close family friend with Kamala.
Right. Just a good Mississippian. But long story short, when Kamala originally came out, he would fake like he was going in the crowd. And of course, man, people, it's like turning a lion loose, jumping over the fence or something at the zoo. I mean, people just scattering everywhere. And just that whole demeanor set the tone for his whole career. You know, we were talking.
He had a handler when he got to WWE.
He did. Yeah. That wore the safari hat.
Yeah.
And, yeah. I mean,
yeah, you could not pull that gimmick off now, man. The wokes would not allow you to have a black guy playing a dang Ugandan warrior.
And all he could do was right step, left step, pat the belly. Right step, left step, pat the belly.
I
And
still do that.
yeah. And then he has that dumbfounded look, like, you know, he's mentally ill. You know, and we just got him out of the woods. But you know, I was telling you the story.
Well, I always thought it was funny he played an Asian, but he was a Samoan. Right. He wasn't an Asian guy, but he played an Asian guy.
He's part of Rock's family, isn't he? Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, I was asking you if you knew who Stagger Lee was. So Buck Robley, I mean, I used to watch Mid-South. It'd come on every Saturday. We'd watch it, and man, it was just local wrestling, man. And Junkyard Dog was the Junkyard Dog.
I'm glad you go ahead. Go ahead.
He had a loser leave town match, and he lost it. And he came back as Stagger Lee and changed the song and eventually made it to where he could unmask himself. And, you know, because Stagger Lee was fighting for the Junkyard Dog. You know how they do those plot twists and everything. But
well, back in the territory days, you did a loser leave town match, and it just meant the guy was going to the other territory.
Correct.
And it didn't have the internet, and everybody had TV, so you never knew what happened to that guy. And then he'd come back, and it kept everybody fresh.
It did. You know, I mean, Paul Orndorff. You know, I asked you the other day, and I was very impressed with your knowledge. You know, I saw the debut of the Blade Runners, which was Sting and the Ultimate Warrior, and you know, they were knockoffs of the Road Warriors, and you had so many try that gimmick. And I saw Kerry and David Von
Demolition's about the only one that pulled that they weren't on the same level. I'm sorry, but they're going to the Hall of Fame this year, actually, finally. But they're the only ones that remotely pulled it off. But the Road Warriors just the OGs. Hulk, Animal. You know, the Road Warriors pop is still what it's either. It's called the Road Warriors pop or the Austin pop, but very few people ever experience that.
When I went to WrestleMania in 2022, my son, who's autistic, he lives for wrestling, and you know, he wants me to take him to WrestleMania every year, but I'm not taking him to Philadelphia, and I'm not taking him to Los Angeles or Las Vegas. But we went to Dallas.
Well, it's supposed to be in New Orleans this year, but they moved it back to Vegas because Vegas paid them more money to host it.
Right. And he just absolutely eats it up. And of course, that was Stone Cold's last main appearance. And he came out both nights. And like you said, when that glass breaks, somebody's ass about to get whooped.
It is a religious experience. I told you, I never got to see him except once during the Attitude Era down in the Cajun Dome. I was 24, 20. I had Crazy 8 at the time. So I was 25, 26, something like that. So it was like it was 01, 02 in that era. So that was kind of the tail end of the Attitude Era. It was moving into the Ruthless Aggression era, and those guys were kind of going their own separate ways. But I was in New Orleans WrestleMania 30. That was the Daniel Bryan main event, the Yes-a-Mania, as they called it. And that was the Undertaker lost to Brock Lesnar. But the show opened. I mean, you had Hogan come out, and the next person to come out, the glass broke, bro. And none of us, we knew he was going to be there at some point, hopefully, you know, but you didn't know for sure. But man, when that glass broke, brother, I'm telling you, I turned back into 17, 18, 16-year-old, however old I was in the mid-90s. And man, I'm getting chills talking about it.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, it was like a religious experience. That glass breaks. You're in there with 70,000 other, you know, Stone Cold maniacs or just wrestling fanatics. Because that's the other thing too about being a wrestling fan is, you know, people try to frown on it. People try to act like you're some kind of weirdo because you enjoy entertainment. You know it's fake, don't you? Well, so is the news, but you still watch it.
Hey,
you idiot.
That's right.
You know, at least I know it's fake.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just called entertainment, you idiot. Everything on TV is fake.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. But you know, you have to kind of, you know, most people don't wear I'm a wrestling fan t-shirts so you can have random conversations in public. But when you go to like New Orleans or something for a WrestleMania and you're down there, we went for the whole week. I hit up every event. I hit up all the independent stuff.
Yeah.
I hit up the Hall of Fame, SmackDown, Raw. I mean, everything they had that weekend, and then, well, SmackDown wasn't there, but because they were doing it on a different night at that time. It was like a Tuesday night or something. But we hit up Hall of Fame. So Hall of Fame was Saturday, WrestleMania, Raw Monday. And then hit up a bunch of the events and the WrestleCons and the WWE experience and all that stuff in the meantime. But it was so cool just to be able to walk around. And I had on camouflage shorts and an Austin 316 shirt, just kind of quasi cosplaying Austin. Not really, but just I wore camouflage shorts all the time back then. And I wear my Austin 316 shirt. But anyway, just had so many people walk up, just start talking wrestling and stuff. And it was fun to get down there and just have that experience around a bunch of other, people who are like-minded. It was like going to a big convention or something somewhere, or going to a sports bar with a football game on, or a Comic-Con or whatever. It was cool to get down there for the first time in my life. Got to go to WrestleMania and to be around other wrestling fans. So get back to the Dome when that glass broke, dude. Like I said, it was like a damn religious experience.
It really is. So when we went out to eat down there, I mean, people everywhere, are wrestling fans. I was overhearing a guy, he's been to 35 of the WrestleManias. I'm like, golly, what a can't wait to go the next year. And we know it's entertainment, but man, it just when that glass breaks, or if you can smell, or when you hear the bells of Undertaker.
Well, it's funny. In the midst of all that, I forgot the next entrance was The Rock coming out.
Yeah.
So you had Hogan, Austin, Rock, and then I think Cena ended up in the ring with him too, because that's what they were trying to make sure everybody put Cena in the same
He's
pantheon.
not to me.
He's the best of his generation, as far as, like, I'm gonna say the best, but he's the most famous of his generation. But Cena is not on my Mount Rushmore. It's real simple. It's Hogan, it's Austin, it's Flair. Hogan, Austin, Flair.
Andre's not
for me. And I know you could go
Undertaker.
Further. He did it longer, but I can't put Undertaker up there not on Mount Rushmore.
Do they have to have an attitude?
No, they don't have to be from the Attitude Era. They just are for me.
Okay,
Flair's not from the Attitude Era, but he wrestled.
But he brought the swagger. I mean, he introduced the swagger.
Yeah. But to me, the best of Flair is from the 80s to mid 90s. And, you didn't really get Flair in the in the Attitude Era. It was more of Flair kind of battling with NWO some. I don't know. Who would you put who's your wrestler?
Well,
think about it. Let's take a break. Think about it. And what is y'all's wrestling Mount Rushmore? Text me on the Ellis-Plex text line, 769-241-1944. If you're with us on the Mazda Jackson live stream, drop a comment, and I promise I'm going to read some of these things today. Who's your wrestling Mount Rushmore? It can only be 4. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show.
.1039 WYAB.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Ridgeland for their Blue Plate lunch specials. Served up every weekday at McBee's. It's a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate lunch comes with 2 classic Southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
Need a new car? Then march right over to Mazda of Jackson and spring in the savings. Get 1.9% financing for 63 months on all 2025 CX-5s, 2026 CX-90s, CX-50s, CX-70s, and Mazda 3s with approved credit. And get 1-year maintenance included on your new vehicle purchase. Don't wait another minute to experience Mazda's exhilarating performance, top-notch safety, and reliability. So get to Mazda of Jackson today, where pre-owned vehicles and hassle-free trade-in options are also available. Shop online or visit Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road.
Got electrical problems? Marty Cowden and Cowden Electric are here for you. Cowden Electric is your trusted electrician, serving the Jackson area for 3 decades. Electrical repair, service, and home rewiring are just the start of what Cowden Electric can do. Cowden Electric also installs generators to keep your power going when everyone else's lights are out. Plus, LED lighting, remodels, new construction, no job is too small. Visit CowdenElectric.com today to see all that they do. Cowden Electric, powering your home and business.
When it's time to get serious about work-ready equipment, come see me, Noah Sullivan, at H&H Chief Sales in Carthage. From rugged Big Tex trailers to durable CM and Legend X truck beds, H&H has what your truck needs to work harder and last longer. For the field, H&H carries reliable ag equipment from Salford, New Leader, and Chandler. Visit H&H Chief Sales in Carthage today or anytime at hhchiefsales.com. H&H, quality equipment, knowledgeable service, and solutions that work as hard as you do.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon.
When leaks, clogs, or cold showers slow you down, call on Anglin Plumbing, the plumbing experts who get the job done right the first time. Leaky faucet, sink, or toilet? Need a water heater installed? Call on Anglin Plumbing. You can always trust Anglin's reliable and hardworking technicians. Don't let plumbing headaches ruin your day. Call on Anglin Plumbing Service to get it fixed. And you can be a part of the team. Anglin Plumbing is now hiring. Learn more about Anglin Plumbing at anglinplumbing.com.
Hey, Central Mississippi, it's Big Pop inviting you to Mississippi's biggest and best gun shows. Big Pop gun shows will be at the Clyde News Center March 21st, 22nd in Pearl, Mississippi. Saturday hours 9 to 5, Sunday hours 10 to 5. There'll be plenty of buying, selling, trading, gun appraisals, over 250 tables of merchandise. Just vendors around too, see. Y'all come and let's have a great week of March 21st, 22nd at the Clyde News Center. And don't forget to register for two $20 gift certificates to be given away every hour. Go to www.bigpopgunshows for more info.
Broadcasting live from the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studio. This is Show.
Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. Real quick before we get back to all our shenanigans here, talking about wrestling. This segment, Jamie, let's bring a segment brought to you by you. How about that?
Let's do it.
Jamie Creel, Shelter Insurance Agent. Tell people real quick why they should select you to be their insurance guy.
Well, Clay, I really pray.
Nobody can sell you better than you.
Well, I understand. I appreciate the avenue you give me on the show, and this helped many, many, many people here, and especially in the Tri-County area. My guy, Danny Street, that owns Belt Warehouse, I was able to help him the other day. He runs a good business over there, and guy yesterday, Chris, owns Custom Cabinets. I mean, the amount of money that I'm saving these small business people that are coming over, I'm telling you, if you got a small business right now and you're running 4 to 5 commercial trucks, now if you need $5 to $10 million worth of general liability, I can't help you. But if you only need $1 or $2 million and you own the building you're in, I'm going to save you thousands. Yesterday, I think I told you, was the biggest savings that I've ever saved anybody. He was paying $123,000 a year on a bot policy, and my price was $53,000 for the same exact coverage. That's pretty damn significant right there. And we're not always going to be the cheapest, but I feel like we are the best. And I put my cell phone number out there. You call me anytime you want to, and we built up our own network. Within our agency, if you need anything, it doesn't matter what you need, contractors, plumbers, electricians, I've got them. You desperate need of help, I can get somebody over there right away to help you, whether it's using insurance or not using insurance. And I just appreciate the fact that people are willing to build a relationship, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day, relationship and letting somebody look at your stuff, which you probably hadn't gone over in years, and talk about it and see what they can do to help you save money and get you better coverage.
And look, just because you don't own a business, somebody can't help you out too. Home, car, life, health. Let him see what he can do for you. I always tell the story. He say my buddy Johnny, who's just like a normal guy, just like me, owns a home, owns a couple cars because he's got kids, married, wife, all that good stuff, got a boat, saving up $700 a month on his insurance. I mean, that's a damn car note. That's a nice car note, nonetheless.
And Marty,
Marty over at Cowden Electric, saved him a fortune. So let him see what he can do for you. Reach out to him. I ain't gonna try to tell you no phone numbers. You ain't gonna remember them. Just Google Jamie Creel, Jamie Creel, Creel, Shelter Insurance, and his number will pop up. Give him a call. If he don't answer, one of his great agents will at either location here in Florida, over there in Ridgeland. What's the name of that shopping center in Ridgeland?
Trace Station.
Trace Station. I'm gonna have to write that down because I can't. I just say over there by El Cazadores or whatever.
Cazadores, Fleet Feet. I'm right in between Landmark and Tuxedo Junction.
I got it. All right, man. Y'all reach out to him. All right, man. Let's get to some of these Mount Rushmores.
Let's do it.
What's people saying over there? And we got the Ellis Autoplex text line up, and we got some interesting takes here. And so I thought about mine during the break, and it's got to be the Rock on there. That's my fourth guy. I look at butts and seats. I'm an old promoter, concert promoter. To me, the best bands were the best draws. I got to look at wrestling the same way. The best, who put the most butts in seats while I watched, and it's Rock, it's Austin, it's Hogan, whether it's yellow and red Hogan or Hollywood Hogan, just Hogan. Hogan changed wrestling. There is no, and Flair, of course, but back to Hogan real quick. There is no Monday Night Wars. There is no Stone Cold Steve Austin without what Vince and them allowed him to do
in the Silverdome.
In the Silverdome, but in the Monday Night War era, when they had to beat WCW for survival, what they allowed the Stone Cold character to become doesn't happen if they're not fighting for survival. And they wouldn't be fighting for survival if Hogan and the NWO hadn't to revolutionize wrestling. The NWO happened before the Attitude Era happened.
WCW had passed them in all the ratings. I mean, WCW
beat Eric Bischoff 83 weeks in a row.
Yeah. And then they rebranded it just on the spot. And when they got Nash and Hall and it
was one of the greatest storylines ever. You can't do it no more because everybody knows the internet ruins it for everybody. But that why I'm here, but you don't know. You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. And I mean, he just brought that character over with blue jeans on instead of shiny pants and sequins. And then the next week Nash shows up and is like, "Where the big boys play, huh?"
Yeah. Razor Ramon.
Yeah. And it was on after that.
You got
Dash at the Beach, 96. Who's the third man going to be? And Hogan comes down to save the day and drops that leg drop of doom on Savage or Sting. I think it's Savage. And everybody thought, Sting could be the third guy. It was almost Sting. It wouldn't have had the impact. It had to be Hogan to have the impact. And the rest is history.
Yeah, man.
You got to have Hogan up there. Is my point. You can't. There ain't no Mount Rushmore without Hogan. And then Austin obviously took it to levels that Hogan could never take it to. The Rock, also The Rock. You had to have two guys battling to be the greatest. You had two of the GOATs in the same era at the same time. You don't get that too often, if never. And then of course Flair. You can't have you can't have a Mount Rushmore without Flair. He did it for so long and stayed healthy, and he's paying for it now. But you got to have Flair up there. He invented drip. He invented swagger. He invented all of it. Let's see what some folks had to. I can't quite read all the ones online yet. I'll get them pulled up in a second. I love our live chat, but they can get having their own conversations in there. Rankin says. Rankin, I see all your other texts, brother. WCCW was the one over in Texas. His Road Warriors lost their mojo when they became fan favorites. He goes, wrestlers who changed the game, Roddy Piper, Hulk Hogan, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, can't argue that. But his Mount Rushmore is all tag teams here. And man, how have we made it a whole show without mentioning the damn Rock and Roll Express? He says some Wild Samoans, Alpha and Sika, the Road Warriors, and the Freebirds. Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about tag teams, I'll give you all those. I would definitely say the Road Warriors. Yeah, I can't make it. I wasn't the biggest Wild Samoa fan, but you needed them. You needed heels, and they were great. They were real life badasses too. But Rock and Roll Express, man,
I can't tell you how many times I saw them battle the Midnight Express. Yeah. And that's Jim Cornette days. We talked about him a while ago. And
man, the scaffold match.
Yes, sir. Man, that's
where he broke both of his legs when he fell.
I mean, you were sitting there on pins and needles when they got up on those ladders that were stretched across ladders back in the day. It's crazy, man.
They had the Road Warriors. You had the Road Warriors up there. They did those scaffold matches, man, and they were terrible matches. But just from are they going to fall? Because you're just waiting for the train wreck because they're going to give you the payoff. Somebody's falling.
Yeah. That's right.
And it ended up being Jim Cornette. It couldn't have worked no better. The guy under was supposed to catch him.
And he didn't.
But gravity didn't quite work out.
No, sir.
For him, and he broke both his dang legs. But let's got some other answers here. Thomas Bobo says, Hogan, Austin, Rock, Flair. It's going to be hard to argue that. Now, you could go back further, trying to be a smart mark, and you could, go back into the golden era. And a lot of those guys are great. But a modern era here, I say modern era, 80s and later, it's hard pressed to think of a better. Let's see here. So, DX had the same pop. DX did have a huge pop, especially post Shawn Michaels DX, the Triple H DX, when Shawn Michaels went away, Mania 14, whatever it was, and Austin beat him. He went away with his back injury for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
And the DX debut, the new DX debuted the next night. And that's when Hunter came out and he brought X-Pac back over from WCW. And it was like the first guy to come back from WCW. So that was huge. And then the New Age Outlaws, I can't remember, did they all form that night? I can't remember if they night as X-Pac, but I think they did. He kind of formed the whole group that night. And then you didn't know?
Yeah.
Well, I got 2 words for you. Yeah. I mean, that's iconic.
Yeah, it is.
Iconic.
Yep.
So yeah, I wouldn't. Here's why I like to ask other people, because I get a little short-sighted.
Just for some of those things too. I mean, when you talk about, Arn and Ole Anderson were hard to beat. And I'm going to tell you who one of my favorite tag teams of all time is, and you may not have been watching back then, is when Kevin Sullivan and Tony Atlas were partners. Man, that you talking about, you had a Mr. America and a demon. I mean, it was